2 Primarchs in 2 months? What a unprecedented surprise. Welcome on in, this is your channel master Sprues and Studs. Just to let you all know, this channel specializes in Warhammer 40k as well as Horus Heresy action figure reviews. And speaking of reviews, let's get to the reason why you are all here, which is the review of Leman Russ. So as with all Primarch releases, JoyToy gives us this thicker premium box, and inside this box is going to be a soft foam that encapsulates the figure, and there is going to be a hard plastic shell kind of to lock the action figure in place. And without further ado, let's get to the unboxing of this beautiful Primarch. Allow me to interrupt myself to put in a word from our sponsor. David Toys has a very easy to use interface where it's separated by Warhammer 40k action figures as well as the Horus Heresy action figures. Now if you click on the Warhammer 40k site, it is very clean, it is very easy to browse. You can also filter over here in this left hand column, which is absolutely fantastic in my opinion. And if you go back, the same goes for the Warhammer Horus Heresy. You have the different factions on the left-hand side where you can filter out. And again, every single one of the releases that you could possibly want from JoyToy. Not only does David Toys have a very easy to navigate website, they also have fantastic customer service as well as fast, free shipping. Sometimes they can actually get your figures to your door in just less than 4 days, which is amazing for free shipping. So if you're interested in buying Leman Russ or any of these action figures, please click on the link in the description below, or again, you will be brought to David Toys. And when you check out, do not forget to use the code SNS to receive 12% off of your purchase. And now, let's get back to the review. We have a big one ahead of us, so let's waste no time. So starting off with the grimacing head, I have to say that the top of the hair area right here is a little janky looking. Almost like Russ is sporting like a strange flowing toupee due to the way that the hair is placed on top of the head. Otherwise, the hair is a nice darker blonde with excellent lighter yellow highlights here, which draw attention to the head. The flowing golden locks of hair are made of a flexible plastic, and there's a decent amount of shading in the deeper creases of Russ's face. Unfortunately, is not as dark and prominent as the promo pictures. The eyes are screened on nicely, but I'll have to say that the grimace looks a little bit stiff and quite unnatural. The stoic-faced head has the same construction as the grimacing head. Strange that for some odd reason, the top of the hair right here looks better than the other version, because I don't know, it looks a little bit less fake, a little less toupee-ish. I suppose JoyToy could have went darker on the shading on this face to give more character. It's a bit too smooth, lacking in contours. The eyes are screened on quite nicely, but I will have to say I really like this version better. The face looks a lot more relaxed and more natural. We will start off with the armor of Elagavar at the right pauldron. There's a proper fearsome red wolf with some light dry brushed highlights. There's a crescent moon that's actually placed subtly in the background, almost like this wolf is howling at the moon. The textured gold embroidery accents the pauldron quite nicely, and the leather fringe right here looks like they are waving in the wind. The left pauldron, on the other hand, is a little bit more bland compared to the right in terms of the lack of iconography. To make up for the blandness, there are layered chains here that are composed of a soft, flexible plastic with dangling wolf's teeth over here. I'm really liking the texture of the armor as it sports terraced layers and possesses numerous silver spikes. The arms in general have a lot more flavor by the way of this ingrained texture compared to your average 40k armor. So in the chest area, there is a shield and wolf's icon right here. They then are on top of this golden iconography, and there's a maroon cord with wolf's teeth that binds the two icons together. The chest ends with these dark runes at the bottom. This area is composed well, and the color selection really pop the icons out from the dark gray color of the armor. There is also this ornate scabbard with golden stitching that gives off the feel that the scabbard is made with a leather material. Now we have arrived in the waist area where we are greeted with a giant belt buckle, almost like a large cowboy belt buckle that sports a golden wolf skull that is cradled with this lace type patterning. The belt itself has fancy parts with red gems right here. Furthermore, detail is fleshed out with these golden spikes on the back. There's a textured holster for Scorn Spitter with an select usage of detail and color to break up the black of the rest of the holster. The highly texturized wolf's head is truly impressive looking. This is what JoyToy is really known for, with the dark gray base and the extensive usage of highlights that make the fur really stand out and look even more 3D. Now with the legs, there is brilliant usage of patterning all over the place. With the Primaris, the lower legs are always the blandest point on a 40K action figure, but these legs right here are something else altogether. The ingrained texture at the top, moving down to the silver studs in the middle, and continuing with more engraved texture at the knee area, are followed by this terracing in the shin area and the lower regions with these spikes. Your eyes are really drawn to this area and it really pops. Dare I say, this area has the most spice and character on the armor. Now focusing in on the backpack, it is removable right here, and I will remove it for you. This is what it looks like when it is removed. There are quad golden wolf's head that are highlighted a silver on the highest peaks of the head that give off sort of like a shimmer in a certain sort of light. The wolf's heads are properly vicious looking because they are bearing their teeth. Otherwise, the backpack is, to be honest, rather simple and unadorned, especially in the center area. Now, this cape is truly something to behold. It is obviously a wolf's pelt. There's an extreme textural sensation when I'm looking at the pelt. Each individual piece of fur is highlighted a light gray, which really stands in contrast to the dark gray valleys of the cape. It looks realistic and highly 3D. The wolf's teeth right here, as well as the rune stones and the red gem, add further flavor to the already tasty cape. The construction is a soft bendable plastic right here, and the reverse of the cape right here is a solid drab brown color. And the final thing that I'll end with on the cape is there is a loop for the hatchet. And now we will move on to the myriad accessories that Leman Russ has. Starting off with the Axe of Hellwinter, it is a frost axe with twin wolf iconography on opposite ends of the axe. There are accompanied symbols of arrows and stars that shoot out from the wolf's heads. The back of the axe has gorgeous inlaid runic designs that give off a certain Viking flair. I really love the gradual transition of this dark gunmetal at the center of the axe to the stark brilliant silver at the end of the axe blade. When caught on certain angles of the light, the axe blade seems to shimmer brilliantly. The battle damage in the form of nicks display that the axe has been heavily used, and the axe handle itself is made of a detailed woven leather straps. The Sword of Bale Knight has greater usage of color compared to the muted but imposing colors of the Axe of the Hellwinter. However, there's a cohesiveness because both weapons have a heavy gratuitous usage of dark gunmetal. The blade of the sword is dark gunmetal and then transitions to a light silver when you migrate over to the edges. The sword also has a sort of glow to it when it catches light at certain angles. There's a foreboding sense of wickedness with the fang-like protrusions. The highly detailed wolf's head at the center has fangs, and it is of a nice gold color that breaks up the darkness of the blade. Now, Scorn Spitter is a reworked bolt weapon that was given to Russ by Vulcan. It looks like a Wild West six-shooter revolver. In contrast to its larger weapon counterparts, the whole of the body is a darker gold color. The brown at the end of the handle almost gives a feeling of a textured wood. There's no shading on the body of the gun, but it has a nice little functional part in that the cylinder can actually be rotated right here. Now, the Shield of Russ is buckler-sized, but yet imposing, with the usage of a wolf's golden skull that can be seen when bashing enemies' faces in. Surrounding the skull are more of these symbols, and then surrounding those symbols are more runes There's a nice usage of alternating gold with gunmetal to give more flavor to the shield. The back of the shield is just this stark gunmetal color. Now the hatchet is rather plain and unadorned. However, there's a cohesive use of the same colors that is found in the Axe of Hellwinter with the usage of gunmetal, black, and brown at the handle. In contrast to that, the dagger has a light silver blade compared to the rest of the weapons. The handle itself is a almost silverish type of gold that is topped off with a highly weathered dry brushed skull. Talking about the movement of Russ, the head you can actually move 360 degrees, but it is really hard to do as the head pops off right here. However, it is more comfortable doing a 180-degree rotation. Due to the locks of hair, the movement of the head is rather restricted. It is limited to a very short up and down motion, as you can see. The shoulder area has full 360 degrees unhindered rotation. You can bend the arms in more than 90 degrees, as you can see. You then can rotate this arm 360 about this axis. And finally, the elbows are double jointed right here. Between the chest and torso area, it's outfitted with kind of a wobble motion, so you can do a side to side as well as back and forth motion. With the waist area, there's a potential for 360 degree movement, but you really need to work at it because the motion is blocked by this belt buckle right here. However, you can comfortably rotate this about 180 degrees. As I'm demonstrating right here with a little bit of squeakiness. About the hip area, 360 degrees of motion is possible, although kind of forced in all honesty. You can also rotate this thigh area about this axis in and then out. The knees are double jointed but limited in motion. This is actually the maximum extension for the knee forward, and then you can have the knee go back like this. You can wobble the joint on the ankles back and forth, and then up and down right here. And finally, you can move the toes up and down. The dagger can be placed into its scabbard quite comfortably, and then the hatchet can be looped in this area quite comfortably as well. So now that the wolf has been reviewed, let's see if he's worth his premium price. Well, folks, I will have to say that Leman Russ definitely did not disappoint. Every single time JoyToy makes these Primarch action figures, they put so much time, effort, and detail into them, as they should, because you are definitely paying a premium price for these action figures. So the short and quick gist of this action figure is, yes, you should absolutely 100% buy it, because, well, the action figure itself is very stunning. I really like the long golden locks of Russ, and the armor, to be honest, is probably one of the most ornate and highly decorated armors, with all the runes and the studs and the terracing that's happening on it. It is really impressive and a sight to behold. I'm a big fan of the Axe of Hellwinter as well as the Sword of Bale Knight. They have so much innate character in them that sets them apart from any other 30k as well as, to be honest, 40k weapons that are out there. And really the piece de resistance is the wolf's pelt, to be honest. Unfortunately, you're not going to see that much of it because he's always going to be faced in front. But when you're looking at the back of Russ, there's so much texture, so much character that's given because of the wolf's pelt. So folks, thank you so much for tuning into this action figure review video. As I said before, I specialize in Warhammer 40k action figure reviews with a light smattering of Horus Heresy action figures mixed in there. So look forward to those reviews in the future. And once again, if you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing to this channel if you love highly detailed action figure reviews such as mine. And with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.